Yeah, hi all.
Yeah,
Am I audible?
yeah, yes, it's audible.
Okay.
Tomorrow also same time, 7 or 7:30.
We'll try to connect at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me share my screen. Just 1 minute. Is my screen visible? Hmm?
Yes.
Okay. So yesterday we have covered interfaces configuration, different type of interfaces we have configured. LAN interface, WAN interface, then aggregated LSCP interfaces. Then we have done VLAN interfaces configuration, right? So any questions in this?
Good. You can go next. No problem.
Sorry.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Nothing.
So we'll start today different topic. So today's topic would be like admin users configuration. 1 minute, hold on. Okay. So today we will do administrator user configurations. Suppose you are managing any FortiGate firewall. After doing a interfaces configuration, you need to understand different type of users in FortiGate firewall. Okay. So in FortiGate we have two type of users. One we call it a normal users, and another one we call it a admin users. Okay. So the normal users would be generally used where you want to do any security policies configuration, for a VPN purpose, or if you want to do captive portal. Okay. So there you will do normal users. So again, normal users are of different type. A normal user can be your SAML user, when like your MFA for Azure SAML, or you may be having a like LDAP user, or your Radius user, or it can be your local firewall user. Okay, a normal users. Then we would be having a admin user. The admin user generally we will use when we want to do a firewall management access. Okay, or we want, suppose in our organization we have 2 3 or 5 network administrator or firewall administrator who want to do firewall configurations or day-to-day task. In that case we need to create a firewall admin users. Okay, so again, admin users can be of different type in our environment. Suppose I want a L1 user, I want a L2 user, or I want a L3 user. What is the difference between L1, L2 and L3? Now in your environment you are having different teams. Team 1 is like who will just do a monitoring. Okay, they don't have any rights to do any configuration changes or anything. Okay, then team number 2 who is having like L2 knowledge and they can do some policies configuration or basic configurations on day-to-day tickets. Okay, they want to manage a day-to-day task or anything, that would be a team 2. Then you would be having a third team which is like your senior engineers or architects, senior person who would be having a full access. Okay, so as per your company policy you need to configure admin users accordingly, that if a person is logging in with the L1 rights, he should be only having a read only access. He should be able to see everything like read only. He should not be able to do any changes or anything. Okay, then another policy would be if a L2 user is there, he should be having like a specific access. Okay, specific access when it comes like he is not having a network configuration or a routing configuration or VPN configuration, he can do policies configuration or something based on his job role. Whatever day-to-day task he should be able to do, that configuration he should be having. Rest all he should be having read only. Okay. Then third thing, a L3 user he should be having a full access. Okay. So administrative users can be of different types based on our requirement in our organization. Any questions?
What does
These
radius user mean?
Sorry.
What does radius user mean?
Radius
Use
users
radius
means
user.
you would be having radius is a protocol you would be integrating with your server. Okay, it can be your
Okay.
AD server or it can be a different server. So using a radius protocol, you would be getting a users from a AD server or your 40 authenticator, some other server. Okay, it would be not your local, similar to your LDAP, where you will integrate a
Okay.
LDAP protocol with your AD server and pull the users from your AD server, right? So similarly, radius would be there for your
Okay.
network NPS servers, network policy server we call
User
it.
can be that user can be from any external server, right? Not only from AD server. If they are a radius user means.
Okay, so assume now, like, see, usually your server, your users would be in a AD server only, right? Whatever users are there, that
Yes.
would be in
Yes.
a AD server.
Of
So now
course.
what will happen?
Of course.
So I assume I am having a firewall. Okay. Whenever we have a radius, radius would be like a client and a server.
Mhm.
Okay. It can be your not only your AD server, it can be your different thing also. Suppose in a FortiGate we are having a 40 authenticator.
Mm. Yes.
Okay. Between your firewall and your 40 authenticator, you may be running a radius protocol. Okay, but authenticator will not be having a user database on himself, right? Then authenticator will need to be integrated with your AD server also. Okay, so authenticator will pull users from AD server and give the same information to your firewall. If you don't have
Okay.
authenticator, in some scenarios you may be having your NPS server, network policy server. You will pull a users from your NPS server and NPS server will pull a users from your AD server. Okay, so that is also possible. It is
Okay.
not mandatory that firewall is directly integrated with AD server.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So whoever is configured from the AD server, they are the part of the radius, right? What
Depends
of
on a
radius
group.
server?
No, no,
Radius user.
no. Depends on a group. See, Radius is a service. Okay. Once you configure
Okay.
Radius
Okay.
service, you don't need to like all. Suppose in your organization you are having 2,000 users. All 2,000 users would not be
Mhm.
part of firewall policies or admin users. Okay. After you do a Radius service
Okay.
enabled and integrate server, then it is also
Mhm.
like specific users you can call it or you can add it as a part of Radius user. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
and one more thing, these normal users are end users, or they do have administrative
No,
roles.
no, no. This would be end users. Normal users means normal users will not have any administrative rules. Okay, only admin users will have a firewall management access. Okay,
This SAML access is for VPN, right? SAML
SAML
role.
is for a
SAML.
VPN or a multi-factor authentication. You can say MFA. Okay. Yeah. Then we'll move forward. So any questions in this, or else I'll move forward then.
Yeah, we can go next.
So today's topic would be we are covering on admin users to manage firewall administration task. Okay. Whenever we have a requirement that we need different type of users to do our firewall management access or do a day-to-day task, right? So how to create that type of users we are trying to understand now. So whenever you want to create admin users, as I told you, we have different type of users: read-only users, read and write users, and full admin rights. Read and write, it can be like limited access. What is a limited access? We'll come to know in couple of minutes. Okay. So this particular things we need to configure based on our company requirement, right? So how we will configure these things? In FortiGate, this can be configured based on a profiles. Okay, we call these profiles as admin profiles. So before configuring any user or adding any user admin users in your firewall, first you need to have a proper profiles enabled. Suppose I am configuring a user for someone like Raghavan, and for a Raghavan I want to give only read only access. So before configuring a username as a Raghavan, I need to configure a read only user profile. Okay, then this particular profile I can add it to a admin user. Then whatever profile I have added to admin user, he will be having only specific rights. He will not have like full rights or a specific thing. Whatever I have configured in a admin profile, that rights he would be having. These things we call it like a role based access. Okay. Now, as per your company, your job description or your job is to only monitor. And if any changes or any alerts come into a firewall, reach to your senior, your next level team. Okay, this is your job requirement or your role in your company. So based on your role, I need to give you a specific access, right? Your role is only to monitor. If I give you right access, then that would be a breach of security, right? Or that would be not correct configuration. Someone can escalate on you. That why you are given right access to a specific person if he is not required. Correct? So how we can do this? Based on our admin profiles, we can give specific access to a specific person. Okay. So in admin profiles, what all things we can configure? Complete read only. So he would be having full read only access. He can go to any tab. In firewall we have different tabs, right? Tab like network tab, policy tab, services tab, or security profiles. Or we are having a VPN tab. Then we are having like logs and reports tab. These are different tabs available, right? So complete read only access, he will be having a full, he can view everything, but he cannot modify or do any changes to any of the things. Okay. Then we are having limited access, we call it. In a limited access, we can customize. Suppose in a limited access, what I wanted to do, this limited access is generally for my L2 team who need to do specific configurations. Okay. So I will say for network, they will have a read only. Okay, RO means read only. For a policies, they will be having a read and write access. For security profiles, they would be having a read and write access. For a VPN, they would be having read only access. For logs and reports, they would be having read only access. So this type of customization I can do for a specific scenario or a specific requirement to requirement. Okay. Then third thing would be L3 users, or you can say admin users. For admin users, again we can give complete write access. Okay. So when I give complete write access to all these particular profiles or this particular tabs, he would be having a write access. He can see, he can delete, he can modify everything. Okay. Is it clear?
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll go to our lab. So you can see user creation, admin user creation used for firewall management access. Let us see a theory first. Okay. So in a FortiGate admin rights, 1 minute, hold on. So what all things? What is admin profile? An admin profile in a FortiGate defines what an administrator is allowed to see and configure on the firewall. It means whatever permissions you have given in admin profile, that would be available to specific user. Okay. Why admin profiles are important? Implement role-based access control. Based on your admin profiles, whatever permissions you are given, like read only or read and write, based on that particular thing, a role-based access would be given to a specific person. Okay. Prevent accidental or unauthorized configuration changes. As I told you, suppose you are having a junior person and he doesn't need a full access to firewall and you have given him. So he may do some changes with the curiosity. Suppose one L1 engineer joined, he is having like 6 months experience and he want to do with the curiosity. Person would be having like, okay, I will do these changes, what will happen, we'll see. Then he may bring down your complete network, right? So in that case, based on a requirement to requirement, you need to give specific access. Allow delegation of task, network security monitoring. Based on the role, specific person would be having a specific role, right? Some persons would be having a role to do security configuration. Some person would be having a role to do only monitoring. Based on that, we need to give rights. Okay. So each module can be set to read, write, read only, or none. None means you will not be able to see this particular option also. Okay. Okay. So now we will go to our lab. During lab, what we are going to do, let us see. We will create 3 profiles. First would be read only. Second would be read and write with limited access. Third would be admin profile, which means full write access. Okay. This would be admin profiles we need to create first. Then in this admin profiles, whatever we have created, we need to create 3 users based on admin profiles. So we will create L1 user. L1 user would be having a profile of read only. Then we would be having L2 user. L2 user would be having a limited access profile. Then L3 user, he would be having admin rights. Okay, these profiles we will create now, and we will do a user creation. Okay, is it clear? So now let us see how we will create a user now. So let us log into our management PC. Let us wait for a couple of minutes. So what is our firewall IP? 192.168.100.1, right? Login. Let us log in. Let me try to ping first. Okay, I am able to ping. Okay. So now first we need to create a admin profiles, right? So if you see, we have different type of users. I told you, no. If you see users and authentications, these all users and authentications are end users, we call it, and we call these end users into security policies. So we will not go into users and authentications. We will go into system administrator profile, admin profiles. Okay. Under admin profiles, we would be having two default profiles. We will not touch them. We will create our new profile. So I will say, what is our first profile? Our profile would be read only. Okay. And you see here's permission. Okay. If I set all to read only, all these permissions, security fabric, FortiView, users, firewall. Under firewall, we would be having policy and object, logs and report, network tab. All this tab would be read only tab for this particular profile. Okay. So I will set this particular profile as a read only profile. Okay. Then we'll create another tab or another profile. Another profile name would be limited access. Limited access, we will do some customization. Under limited access, what we are going to do? For network tab, I will say read only. For security, or we call it a firewall tab. For policies and all, I will say read and write. For logs, I will say read only. For users and authentications, I will say none. None means he will not be able to see that particular tab also. Okay. Now let us see how we'll do it. So we can do customization. Security fabric, I will say FortiView read write. Users and devices, I will say none. That means he will not be able to see this particular tab only. Firewall, I will say read and write. Logs and report read. Network read. System, I will say none to him. Okay. Security profiles, read and write. So we are giving customize option, right? So wherever we have selected none, then he will not be able to see this particular tab only. If I select VPN also none, he will not see VPN tab. Okay. Okay. Click on OK. Then we have created limited access. Then I will say admin access. For admin access, again I need to select full read and write. So everything would be read and write for him. Okay, done. After we create admin profiles, we need to create an administrator, right? So let us create an administrator. Here I will say create admin. Here you see we have different options: local user or match a user on a remote server, match a user on a remote server, or infrastructure PKI group, which means if you are having a Microsoft PKI group and all, that would be there. So as of now we will say remote user, L1 user, sorry, local user. Then I will create a password. Here you will see admin profile. So whatever profile we need to select, give this particular user a rights, we need to select. So for L1 user, we have created read only, right? So we will select read only. Okay, done. Don't save. Then I will say I have another user creation for L2 user. Okay, L2 user. For L2 user, I will say password. For L2 user, what we have created, limited access, right? Okay, done. Then we would be having a third user. First 1 minute, I'll just do some modification. Okay. Then we would be having a L3 user. What would be admin profile? Admin access. Okay. So now we have created three users, right? L1, L2, L3 user, and all three users are having different roles available based on their job profile. Now let us go to incognito mode. Now first I will try to log into L1 user. Okay, I have logged into L1 user. I have option of all the tabs, right? If you see, I have like same thing dashboard available. I have network option available. I have policy and object available. Security profiles available. VPN tab available. Users and authentication available. System logs and report everything available. But do I have option to do any changes? Now let us see. I'll go to network. I'll go to interface. If you see, I don't have a create option only on this particular tab. But if I go to my rights, network and interfaces, I have option to create for my admin user, right? But for my L1 user, I don't have option to create. If I edit any particular tab, if I do any changes on WAN interface, suppose I do a change for a subnet, okay, I don't have an option to do save also. If I don't have an option to do save, I need to only click on return. If I return again, it is not saved. Whatever the previous configuration was there, that would be there. We cannot do any modifications. Same thing if I go for static routes. If I want to do any routing changes or anything for this particular user. Okay. So I don't have an option to do or create any routes. But if I go to my admin, I have an option to do routes. Do routes configuration, right? So that will happen because this particular user is only having a read-only access. He cannot do any modifications or any changes in this particular firewall. But he can check all the logs and report and everything. If you go to forward logs and all, he can check whatever logs are there or events. If you see system events, he can check whatever events are there or logs are there. But he cannot do any modifications to anything. Okay. Then we'll go to different user. I'll say log out to this user. Now we would be having L2 user. Okay, what happened? Let us see. Okay, 1 minute. I think I have done some system administrator, L2 user, limited access. That's fine. Change the password. Okay. Okay. So we have configured L2 user with limited access, limited options, right? Here, if you see, I don't have option to do VPN tab. Why we don't have? Because what is a profile created for L2 user? Limited access. Under limited access, what options we have given? Let us see. Under admin profiles, under limited access. For a system, I have given none. System means this particular tab, admin and all. So do I have a system option for him? I don't have an option to do any system changes. Then for a users and devices, I have given none. So do I have users option? I don't have a user creation options also. Then we have given another thing like VPN, Wi-Fi and all we have given as a none. So I don't even have a VPN access option. Then another things, let us see. For a network, I have given him a read-only access. Logs and report read-only. Then policies I have given read and write access, right? So now let us see. If I go to policy and object, firewall policy, I have an option to create a firewall policy, right? If I want, I can create new firewall policy. I can do a save also. But if I go to another thing, for network and interfaces, I have nothing to do. I can only view whatever configuration is there. I can only view, but I cannot do any changes in this particular thing. Even if you want, you can create more granular control. Like under network, you can do a customization, configuration, routing. If you want, you can give routing, read and write access. Configuration means interface configurations he cannot do. Okay, so he can say read. Packet capture, none. Routing, read and write. So now we have given more granular control to this particular profile. Now let us see. For changes to apply, we will need to log out and we again need to log in. Now see, for a network, under static route, I have an option to create, but under interfaces, I don't have an option to create. Under any routing protocol, I have option to do any changes. Okay, but packet capture I don't even able to see here. There should be option of packet capture, right? Under network, if you see, packet capture option is available. But why I am not able to see? Because under my profile, under admin profiles, under limited access, I have selected a packet capture as a none. None means this particular user, whatever rights are there, he will not be able to see packet capture tab in his GUI only. Okay, so you will not be able to see packet capture option. Routing option we have selected read and write, so you can create any routings. Under interface configuration we have selected only none. Sorry, under only read only. So he will be only able to see. He cannot do any modifications. Okay. Any questions? Hello.
One question I have: if this local account user password, username and password is like leaked, and anyone can access and anyone can make change, right? If L3 password and username got leaked, to can't we use AD credential like user? We
No, no,
can't
that would be
trace like who.
possible. No, no. If you see, you can have a AD users also. It is not like only local users. If you see here administration, if I click on new user, I am having option to match a user with remote user. Okay, that means
It will only
mhm,
sync the AD users and all here. The
AD
password,
user.
AD password, AD
Correct,
user.
correct. No, this would be backup password. That means if your AD is down, then this password would be
Mm.
used. Okay, let us see. Whenever you have an AD user, whatever protocol you are using a LDAP or you are using a radius. Okay, that would be integrated with your AD at the end, right? So in a AD, you are having a user with the name Sudhi. Okay, and your password is assume password at 123. Okay, this is your password, your AD password. Okay, now in a firewall, what will happen whenever we create an admin user? We need to create a with a specific name Sudhi. Okay, then we would be having option to map a AD group. Whatever your username is part of what group we need to map. Then you would be having an option to do backup password. This backup password is generally works when your AD is down and still you want to log into firewall. Then this password will not work. Suppose backup password you have given as a admin at 123. Okay, and this will only function when your AD server is down and you still want to log into your firewall. Then you need to use your backup password. Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, then even you have option to do like two-factor authentication. If you are having a 40 token or anything, you can do two-factor authentication also. Okay, yeah, based on requirement to requirement and all, you would be having options that. Okay, then third user we have created L3 user. So L3 user, what we have done, we have given full access, right? One minute here. This passwords, I don't know what happened. Hmm? Okay. So now we have logged in via L3 user. So L3 user would be having option to do any changes. If you go to network, you go to interfaces, he can do create or modify whatever he wants. Suppose I wanted to do WAN IP change. I can do a changes and I would be having option to do save also. But when you are having a view only option, you cannot do a okay, right? You only have option to return. Return means there would be no changes saved at all. Then under policy and object, you would be having option to create new policies or create new address objects. Whatever you wanted to do, you can do it. Even VPN options you would be having. So whatever admin rights you are having, everything would be available for L3 user. Whatever options you have given or you have selected under a profile. Okay. So that was the thing for our admin users. Any questions? So I assume no questions, right? So next would be user like logout timer or idle timeout. Okay. So generally this means when your user logged in and he is not doing any changes or his system is idle for specific minutes, automatically session would be logged out. Okay. So this particular option will work globally. First thing, it will work on a globally. If you go to system and settings, you would be having an option. Okay. If you see admin settings, idle timeout is generally 5 minutes. Okay. This is applicable for all the users. Suppose I am having 5 users in my environment, 5 management users. What all the users I am having now? I am having 3 users, right? L1, L2 and L3. So I have not done any modification on a user based. It is global now. So if a user is not active for like 5 minutes, his session would be logged out. Okay. And if you want to do any changes to this particular timer, either if you want to apply for all the users, you can do it on global settings, like from 5 minutes you can do whatever 36 minutes also, like 1 hour. If you don't want that, you want like L3 should be like 5 minutes, L2 should be 5 minutes, but L1 should be log out in 2 minutes. Okay, automatic idle timeout. Then it is not possible globally because you want a specific user, specific timings, right? So in that case, you need to go to user profile again. So now let us go to user profile. So you want to do for all the users, you can go it here and do it 1 to 40, 80 minutes or whatever minutes you want. If you don't want for all the users, then you need to go to admin profiles. Then suppose I go to read only user. For a read only user, I want an option like, you see, override idle timeout. I can change it, then it would be overriding our global timeout. Okay, then I can say it should log out in 1 minute. Okay, done. Then I will close this logout option. Then I will again log into L1 user. Then we'll see. I have logged into L1 user, and what is the timer for L1 user? 1 minute, right? So now let us see in 1 minute what will happen. We should be getting a pop-up that extend the session or your session would be logged out something. Let us see.
Okay, I have one doubt. Like for the management PC, you connected, right? Uh, just in case if we are in real-time environment, do we need to? We will just log in with the same IP, right? No need to log in. No need to connect the laptop with the Fortinet.
We'll see your doubt.
No need
1
to
minute.
connect the
Give
laptop.
me a promise. We'll see. So now if you
Mm.
see, we have configured 1 minute for our idle timeout for a L1 user. So it is logging out in 1 minute, like in 16 seconds, 15 seconds, your session would be logged out. If you don't want to log out, you can extend the session. If you don't do anything, it would be automatically logged out. Let us see. For all other users, I will change it to 3 minutes. So for a L1 user, it is 1 minute. Then remaining users, I want to change it to 3 minutes. So what I can do, I can go to settings and I can say for all other users 3 minutes. That means it would be applied to your L3 user, L2 user, or whatever all users. Okay. Apart from that L1
If we
profile,
click that extend session, again it will be
1 minute more. If you
having
don't do
additional
anything,
1
yeah,
minute.
it is idle timeout. It is not
Okay.
like if you are doing configuration, it will not log out. If you are not doing any
Mm.
configurations, then only it will log out. So now for L2 users, let us see. We have done 3 minutes, right? Now we will wait for 3 minutes.
Suppose in the environment we have 20 firewalls, we have to create local account and local administration. We have to do manually, or
Yes,
how it
yes,
is.
yes. Now see, whatever you have, you are LDAP or AD or radius server, but in FortiGate you need to create a user in a local firewall. Whether it is a local user or your admin user, whatever user, you need to create a user in firewall. Okay.
Okay, if they have integrated with Forti Manager or Forti Analyzer, uh, through Forti Manager they can and view all the FortiGate firewall
You can
centralized.
configure,
No,
yeah, yeah,
they
yeah, yeah. Then you don't need on firewall. You can, but still you need a Forti manager user then. Yeah. Because like you have in Cisco or Aruba, you just integrate with your AAA. Then you don't need to create a users, right? In Cisco, it is not the
mm,
scenario in FortiGate. You need to create a user in firewall. Okay. So now you see, for 3 minutes nothing is happening, right? After 3 minutes again it will log out. That was just usually happens for ideal timeout. Okay. This is useful when you want like specific timers for specific roles, or you want all the users or all the roles the same timer. Then you can go to global settings and do it. Okay.
what about console user? If anyone want to access console physically there, that
Console also
profile,
works with the same user. There is no such restrictions for console or anything in
no
FortiGate.
profile to be created there. He can use
You
L1
can use
profile,
L1, L2,
L2
yeah,
profile.
whatever. Okay. But generally, whenever you're connecting console, you assume to be having a local user or admin user. Okay. Whenever you log into initial firewall, right? First time login,
That
so
is
that user you
that
would be
is
using mainly. Okay. Yeah. So what was your doubt, Sudhi?
that one only, like
Sorry,
console access
Raghavan.
console.
Yeah, Raghavan. What was your doubt, Raghavan? For
Yeah,
management
actually,
PC.
management PC, yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
So this is our management
While we
PC.
are connecting, okay, okay. If you got my question, okay, okay, you can explain.
So this is our management PC. No, no. Can you repeat again your question?
Yeah, yeah, yes, yes. Actually, now we are connecting management PC, right? Management PC, and we are making all the changes in the management PC.
Mm-hmm.
So in real-time environment, do we need to put the same firewall IP that will work, or do we need to do initial level of configuration while connecting? Initial level of configuration we can do in, connecting the
In a real-time
laptop
firewall,
and
right?
console.
In a
Yes,
real
yes,
time.
yes.
Okay. So real-time firewall, how it works? Let us see. Yesterday, I think I have explained, but let me explain again. You are having a firewall now. I am assuming there is no configuration,
Okay.
new firewall. Okay. So in a new firewall,
Mhm.
we would be having different ports, right? So assume LAN port. By default, LAN port would be having one IP address, 1.99. Okay. This is a
That
LAN
role
port.
we need to assign, right?
Role we can assign later. That is not an issue.
Uh,
So this is a LAN
okay,
port with
okay.
this particular IP address. Now you would be having some PC. Okay. This PC you need to configure in same particular range. So now your PC you are configuring in assume 192.168.1.100. Then you can take a firewall access using this particular IP. Using HTTP or HTTPS, you can take this particular IP access. Then first thing, you need to change your LAN IP. Whatever IP schema your company is using, same IP you need to give it to your LAN port. Okay. Then again you need to change your PC IP to this particular. Suppose your company is using 172.16.1.0/24 IP range. Okay. Then your firewall LAN IP should be in this range and your PC should be also in this range. Then you may be having some switch or whatever connected, that can also be possible. Okay. Then it will work normally. Is it clear?
Okay. Yeah, okay.
This is one way. If you don't want a port PC changes multiple times PC IP and all, there would be another
Mm.
option, console port.
Mm. Yeah, that is this
Connect
is what
connect your
I'm
laptop to
trying to
console port. open a putty.
Okay.
Then first do a LAN port configuration. LAN port configuration IP would be this, and you need to change this IP to your company schema. Then connect your laptop to switch and your LAN port also to switch. Then you can access whatever your firewall IP using HTTPS.
No.
Okay,
No.
is it clear?
Yeah, got it. Got it.
Okay.
One more thing, if the L1 user, L2 user, L3 user is accessing via CLI, there also the roles remain same or how it is?
The roles remain same, but again you have multiple options. Let me show you. Just a minute. Under your L3 users, you are having different options. Assume like for your CLI, you can enable them like they can do debug or they cannot do debug. Okay. If you go to any profile, admin access profile, you are having an option. They can enable debug commands or not. Permit uses of CLI diagnostic commands. If I disable this, what will happen? Let us see. I'll go to different profile and limited access profile. I will say permit uses of CLI diagnostic commands. I don't want diagnostic commands for them. Click on OK. Then let me log into firewall. I will say I will use L2 user diagnose. I don't have option for diagnose command here. If I click on tab also, what not happening. Now I will go to L1 user. Diagnose. If I say debug, but here if I type diagnose also, see diagnose command is not available like that. You will see. Okay. So if you don't want the LM they can do debug or not, you can disable debug also for them. Okay. Now let us say config. For L1 user I don't have a config options, right? But for L2 user, config system, what all options I am having? Interfaces I cannot do. Config firewall policy. I can do firewall policy configuration, but interfaces and all I cannot do for them. Okay. Now if I remember for L2 user we have given a router configuration, right? And if I want to do a static route configuration I can do, but interface configuration I cannot do for them. What is the command to do interface configuration? Config system interface. I don't have an option to do. So CLI also they would be having same options. And moreover, see debug command would be available for everyone. If you want, you can disable per profile based. Okay.
And any any limitations like whatever the things we are doing in GUI that can be done in CLI also, but with additional debug commands, right? But
Whatever you can do in a GUI, you can do in a CLI, but in a
yeah, yeah.
CLI you can do
But in
much things which you cannot do in a GUI. There are
okay, okay,
some
okay.
options,
For troubleshootings.
not only troubleshooting. There are some specific configurations based on requirement to requirement that commands that can be done only from command line. That is not possible from your GUI.
Okay, okay.
Based on requirement to requirement actually, but day to day task or major things you can do from your GUI only. You don't need to do again and again CLI.
Okay.
Okay. So any questions now? So if no questions, we'll wind up for today. If you have questions, we can wait for a couple of minutes.
I'm not getting about that captive portal actually.
That
What it
topic
is?
will come